we all know that A&M is the home of the 12th man and it gets loud in there. But Miami walked in and said, it's not enough. I hope you like my Kendrick Lamar reference right there. Welcome to Student of the Game. My name is Adrian Phillips, 10-year NFL vet, and this is a space where we break down the biggest games in college football, and now we're on our playoff edition, starting with A&M in Miami. Now, let me start this off by saying I'm not in the film room, you're not in the film room, so we don't know what these guys are being taught. Let's break down this film. We're going to start off with Miami offense going against A&M defense, and then we're going to flip it to the other side. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow, whatever you got to do on all my socials. It should be somewhere around here. Let's get into it. All right, so like I said, we starting off with Miami's offense, and the first thing that we noticed off the jump is that they really wanted to get the ball on the edge, and I felt like it was because they was a little scared of Texas A&M's interior. So we see right here, we just got a little screen out to the edge to Marion, and we get a tackle by Ratliff, and I think that's Lee to start the game off. But they ran this like 3-4 times throughout the game, and this is just to try to slow down what they got going in here, because you're going to see like them boys was pinning them ears back, and they was coming. I really didn't truly like the game plan of Miami, and really once they got into what they really did, then they started to gain some yards, but I ain't really like it. What I did like though is so you're gonna see something cool right here. So we call this a Z crack. X crack, sorry. X crack. And we're highlighting this guy down here. I think that's Marion again. And what he's gonna do, so we're gonna have a simple run inside right there. But what he's gonna do, he's responsible for cracking this safety right here. And this was a theme throughout the day. They really wanted to make these corners tackle, and it just ended up seeming like it was always Lee. Like it was Lee every single time. I think Ricks had one or two in there, but it felt like on the big runs that really spread it out, it really seemed like they was attacking Lee. And maybe that's the side that they like running to, because they got what was that, 70? I think that's Bill. Yeah, they got Big Bill over there. But you see that they cracked the safety right here, really forced them. Boom. Safety did what he could. And this is another thing that we're going to see throughout the day right here is really the edge setting. It's one thing to set the edge, but and when I say set the edge, I mean that this guy makes the ball go inside. But when you really don't affect the path of the running back, then there's nothing, then you're not really setting the edge. You just kind of out there just working in space. So we're gonna see that a lot throughout the day. You're gonna see right here that Fletcher really doesn't check his feet. There's really no true edge set right there, because he didn't slow down. He didn't slow him down. And that's how, I think. Yeah, that is how. A couple plays later, we get to the first third down of the game, and I'm telling you, like, bro, this was nuts. So anytime they got into this two-back protection on third down, one, I feel like Miami really shot themselves in the foot, because when you get behind the sticks early in a drive versus this style of defense, bro, it's going to be really tough, because they got them boys coming off the edge, and they got these two guys inside that when they blitz, like, they are humming, like coming.
What did he say?
We see the first one right here, and they gonna run a version of this blitz throughout the game, bro. It was like they had a Rolodex of it. So we get a little simple run right here. They really didn't get home. Miami really picked it up well, and this ended up being good coverage by Marion on, by Lee on Marion. And Beck just threw it behind him, but there was, if we go back to the view, like there was nothing really there. It's kind of hard when you sit in these 7-man protections. I really wanted Miami to get like 4 out, 5 out sometimes. And I know you're gonna give a little bit with that with the blitz, because A&M's coming, and their pressure is crazy. So you're gonna give a little bit of that, but you're gonna see that in the second half that it kind of worked out in their favor a little bit, and they just got away from it. But I just think they were so respectful of A&M's pressure up front that they really got away from being like an explosive offense, and it really shot them in the foot. So they ain't get anything on that first drive right there. We get to the second drive right here, and we get another crack split right here. We're gonna have a Zach motion, which means Z across by Tony, you call it missile motion, whatever it may be, but I think they really found something early on and they knew it. They knew it. And if you're a corner in this position right here, bro, one, you got to see this. You got to see all of this space right here. And they're in some type of man coverage. I mean, they're shelling 4 over, so that means the corners are responsible for the wide receivers, and it seems like these two guys are responsible for the running back and the tight end. Like, they're in there. I feel like they kind of had a beat on when Miami was getting ready to really, truly run the ball. But if you're a corner in this position right here, you got to see the bigger picture. You got to see the bigger picture right there. They already hit you with a crack once. You got to know that when he's tight like this, if he makes contact with that safety right now, you got to go. You got to go. And it's hard when you're in man coverage because you don't want to be, typically you're more outside right here so you can force it when you do come. God, that is an ugly arrow. You can force it when you do come, but when you're in man, it's a lot harder. So you really want that man coverage to either be tighter up on the line right here. So when you do feel that, you can be closer, or be wider. But it's tough either way. But that boy Fletcher, like, he was finding something early. Like, he's a really good back. I like what they had going with him. We get to the 2nd and 7. I feel like this is a script play, and this was Miami really just trying to find a way to get easy score. And it might have would have worked, but the reason I feel like this, I'll let it play. So this is a jet sweep pass, another version of a double pass, and they don't end up hitting on it. And it's really a good job. I don't know if that's 25 or 26. I think that's 25. That might be Brooks, but it's really a good job right here. So we got a jet sweep going, and Tony actually played quarterback in high school a little bit. That boy is fire. FYE, fire. I really like him. I was watching him early in the season. He is really like that. This is the problem when you get into the script sometimes. Like, sometimes you got to get away from the script and get into the feel of the game, because if I run his back right here, like, there's no room. College hash marks are wide, bro. They are so wide. So when you run this jet sweep to the boundary like this, you don't really give the play enough time to develop. And this ended up being a good job by Brooks, because they really have something right here. I mean, Lee gets caught looking into the backfield while Daniels is blocking him. And they really have something. But this was a great job by Brooks, just staying over the top. And if this was to the field, who knows, maybe Brooks would have triggered just a little bit. But when it's to the boundary like that, he doesn't feel threatened because they got so many bodies over here. So if it gets out, like, good luck. So they don't end up hitting on this, and they end up getting good pressure anyway. But sometimes offensive coordinators get so tied up in their script, like, oh, we're going to do this on the 7th play, on the 8th play. I'm going to set it up so whichever way. And I don't know if it was part of the script, but I just felt like this was one of the times that they should have just kind of kept that in their back pocket, because they're going to have another couple ones like that too that they should have kept in their back pocket. And it ends up getting away from them. So they ain't getting nothing on there. And that could have been bad. If that was any worse of a ball, that might have been picked. Very uneventful first quarter on both parts. Like, this was a stalemate, but was it a stalemate because both teams are great?
No!
Or was it a stalemate because both offenses played trash? I'll let you answer that in the comments. I think it was because of both offenses were freaking awful. I think they gave the other defenses way too much respect. I'm gonna take a timeout right there, man, and just say, if you like the content that you're seeing, if you like what I'm spitting right now, and if you want to see more of this and you want to be the first to know, like, subscribe, comment, follow on all my socials, just so you can be the first to know when I drop some new content. We're going to try to drop this stuff weekly. Thank you for rocking with me, man. Let's take this to the top. With that being said, our timeout break is over. Let's get back into it. Let's get back to the run game. We get our flavor, right? This is the flavor of the day. They're going to keep attacking this right here. So we get the Z crack, we get a stretch to the other side, and they're going to make that corner come make the tackle. And this is what I was talking about with Howell right here. And I'm a player right here. He's a great player, All-American, all of that, whatever. whatever you want to say, SEC Player of the Year. But this is something he has to get better at because Bell right here, you make his work easy. Is that Fletcher? I don't know if that was Fletcher running the ball on that one. But look, there's no check of the feet for the running back. So yes, you make the ball go inside of you, but you really didn't affect the play. If you really wanted to affect the play, you set that edge, and you're able to fall back into it and get a hand on them or make the tackle yourself. But when you're setting the edge 3 yards up the field and Bell, all he has to do is turn you out. Like, he did his job. He won that rep. Now, this dude did not. Now, his boy, McCoy, did not win his rep. He didn't touch anybody. He ended up just letting 2-7, and I think that is Sanford. Yeah, he just ended up letting Sanford just get in there and make the play. And I know he's not technically responsible for him, but when you run a stretch like this, it's kind of just like zone blocking. So you're responsible for certain people, but it's a light box, so you just kind of hit the first thing that you see. But that's one thing I would like to see Hal get better at, because he did this throughout the game, and it's like, yeah, you really ain't set the edge, bro. You just let them run inside you. To the next play, right? You get formation into the boundary, and we talk about this all the time. These are identifiers. They got their speed to the field, right? You are on an island. It is you versus him. Is he tight or is he wide? That's something that you got to look at. But as a corner, you got to know that there's a possibility that this shot is coming, especially if you know that you're in some type of man coverage, right? We cannot sit right here. Slowing our back pedal, slowing the transition, and we get ran by, and you lucky they didn't strike up the band. Right here. Let's go back to the top. So if you're a corner ever in this situation right here, maybe 7 yards. Yeah, he's right at 7 yards. But we got to get out of there, bro. Let him catch anything underneath. That has to be your mindset right there, because you're on an island. Everything else is on the other side of you. You got to know that the one way you can get beat is over the top. So you can't let yourself get beat over the top. And they got lucky right there. It was a long foul ball. And maybe it was a win. Maybe it was just they got lucky right there. The most eventful thing about the first half was the kicker missing. I want to say he missed 3.
Beginning of the year, Carter Davis. And then 47. This is from 40 and the lead at the half on.
That was the most eventful thing. And I knew after the punt return that he was going to, I could show you the text message. I swear I called it. But anyway, get to the next drive right here, and we're out the gate. Again. Like, when Miami committed to running the ball, they really, like, there was nothing that A&M could really do. And I want to say that's one of the reasons why A&M sent so much pressure this game. But we're going to look at Radcliffe, I think. Yeah, so they're going to actually get hit on this later in the game, and this is what's going to set them up for the touchdown to win it. So it looks like they're running a cross dog stunt right here. These guys come out, but it looks like it seems like 2 things happen on this play. 17 and 55 both part the Red Sea like crazy, like so crazy. Yeah, you're supposed to go to the B gap, bro, but Jesus Christ. So they part the Red Sea like crazy, right? And then we have York going first, so he's hitting the center up front. And we talk about this being like a ball and chain. So this guy goes first, and he's really a readout, and he's really a fit on the ball player. If they play it that way. I don't know if they play it that way, but this is how most NFL defenses teach it, right? So he's really a readout player. So he's coming across, but if he feels action this way, he's reading out and getting over the top so he doesn't take himself out to play. And I think he just gets lost right here. Like, if you look at his helmet, I don't know if you can see his helmet, but his eyes look like they are that way. And what is up with my arrows right now? I cannot draw an arrow to save my life. His eyes are up, In Ratcliffe, it seems like he buries himself. So I don't know if he's a delayed blitzer. I would think that he's supposed to be a fit on the ball player because I've seen this blitz in many forms, which means that, bro, you just a cleanup player. So with him burying himself, and I get why he does it, but this is why you have to know how a play is supposed to play out. There is space right here, but if you fit on the ball 5 yards right here, you'll still make that tackle for a 2-yard gain. Your 2-yard gain. Jesus Christ, I just blanked on his name. I'm going crazy right now. It's the coffee. I got this strong coffee, and this is so good, but it is so strong. Fletcher, that's his name. Tighten up, P. Tighten up. If he goes this way, all right, you'll make it for a 2-yard gain. But if he bounces this way like he does, you'll be over the top to be able to save that play. So between Sanford and Ratcliffe, they got to make that play, and Riggs got to make that tackle too. But when Fletcher get out in the open field, good luck. We'll get to the next drive because, surprise, nothing happened. And this is right after the punt return, and I knew they weren't going to score. And Miami, like, bro, we got to go. We got to go. And I'm going to just show these plays. This is what setting the edge looks like. I don't know if you remember that play, but whatever you got to rewind back to when I was talking about Hal setting the edge. He ended up letting Sanford just get in there and make the play. And I know he's not technically responsible for him, but when you run a stretch like this, it's kind of just like zone blocking. So you're responsible for certain people, but it's a light box. So you just kind of hit the first thing that you see. This is what setting the edge look like. That's how you set the edge, bro. That's how you set the edge. Look how he got to check his feet. All right, can't go that way. Can't go full speed. But anyway, so Miami does that. 2nd and 9. Then bro, this is playing scared to me. And I know every offense has this in their repertoire, something like this, but this is playing scared to me. Like, you trying to beat them with gimmicks and tricks, bro. Like, you got the players. Tony is like that. And I know you're trying to get Tony the ball, but this ain't the way to get him the ball. But them boys get paid a lot more than me. Like, A&M defense, you ain't gonna beat them doing this. And they really didn't beat them doing this. Like, they beat them playing Miami football, which is we finna run, we finna block, we finna give Fletcher the ball in the 4th quarter because y'all gonna get tired of hitting them. Like, that's how they beat them. Man, beat them doing this, bro. You get all the way down there and get nothing from it. And then we get to 3rd and 8. This was a dope blitz by A&M off the way, just how they manipulated the line. So we got our 4 down over here, which means that this line is going to be sliding this way. I think they half slid on this one, but so they manipulated early. We don't get a check from Beck. He doesn't know. I don't know now take this with a grain of salt. I play defense. I know a little bit. I don't know a lot. It didn't look like they had a hot setup right here, and it is also 3rd and 8. So it's like, what hot you talking about? But at the same time, it just looked like they didn't have an outlet for this blitz right here. So they tried to run a little slot option, which is a good call. And I would have loved for him to get into his route a little bit faster to speed up his time clock. But they just didn't have anything. I would also love to see Beck possibly give a check right here to let them know, like, hey, go up top or run a true stop, curl, hitch, whatever you got to run, because they coming. Dude, them boys coming. This was dope. So we get Brooks off the edge right here, and this really puts him in a bind because you got 4 people over here, you got 3 over there, that's 7. They got 7 potential rushers blocking 6 with 6 blockers. So they have half in this way. So let's just say if they were all accounted for, right? I actually drew that wrong. So let's just say if they full slid and they were all accounted for, you still got 2 off the edge. 1 is going to be free. And this is where I was talking about Beck would typically need to know where that free guy is coming from. You would want him to know where his free guy is coming from, but it just looks like he doesn't really know. And Fletcher almost gets there, but he'll never get there because the way they ran his blitz is insane, and they almost picked it up. That's the crazy part. They almost picked that thing up. So we get to the 2-minute drill. Of course, them boys missed the field goal, just like I said they was. And this is actually the third time they ran this style of pressure versus this look. I didn't show the other one just for timing purposes, but this is what I was talking about. Like, I wonder if they had a check going on with this. If they was like, anytime they get into in this two-back formation, we are coming. We are sending the crib. And this was actually a great throw by Beck to keep the drive going, because they really didn't have anything else, and York almost got home. So if he didn't find this, that would have been tough. But just look at this. So the first time they ran this, if I remember correctly, they penetrated here. I wanted to say they came around like this. The second time that I didn't show, they penetrated here, came around, and I want to say they sent him too. And this third time that they ran it, they sent him again. Boom, like, bro, fire blitzes. And it was 3rd and 8, so it had enough time to get there. Beck just ended up finding the open guy. So we get to the second half. Of course, they missed the field goal. Surprise, right? They missed the field goal. But this is what I was talking about. I love how in the second half, like, Miami came out and was like, all right, we got to spread them out. That's the way you slow down pressure. You have to throw them outside of the pressure. It's like hooping. How you get them boys out the 2-3 zone? You got to shoot them boys out the 2-3 zone, because if you don't, it's finna be a long day. You got to shoot them out the pressure. You got to keep throwing that thing out the pressure, just quick, methodical throws, because when you do that, they like, all right, we got to send in covers because we don't have enough time to get there. And they didn't send anything right here, but when you spread it out, time and throw, Beck steps into the throw. He sees his one-on-one versus the cover 4. And I think that's 7 or... Yeah. With Daniels, gets a nice first down. So we come to the next one. I like it. We 4 wide. Get these boys on the numbers. Get them out there so they can have some space to move. Right? Okay, quick, methodical. Boom. I think this is when Beck is at his best. I think that's when he's at his best. When he's able to read the coverages, get the ball out quick, and make quick decisions. And then we come back to this, right? Like, this was crazy. Great job by A&M right here. Great job by A&M reading this out. These guys are so freaking good, bro. So freaking good. He stays at home and he gets rewarded for it. Great freaking play. And if he would have missed it, who is that? Is that Riggs or Lee? I don't know which one that is. He was gonna come make the play too. So it was dead. Like, it was dead from jump. They didn't have a shot. We get to 3rd and 3, right? They end up getting out of that. And this is where I feel like Ratcliffe kind of buried himself. We showed this earlier, right? So earlier it was a cross dog. This is another version of a cross dog. So the cross dog that they ran the first time, they had 4 down linemen, right? I'm gonna just act like he's a lineman. 4 down linemen. We're gonna X him out. He's not here. And they boom, right? This is another version of that. So now you have 3 down with a 5 down front, and you have your nose, Ringo and the Lucky to the other side with him coming into the opposite A gap. So every gap is accounted for unless they bring something across. And this is why you have to be so tied into that. So when they bring something across right here, you would love for that safety who is a fit on the ball player to just keep your depth, bro, because there's nothing. And I don't like the way they run their blitzes. Maybe he's supposed to be up in there. So I can't necessarily say that, but there's nowhere, you just running to get yourself blocked. So you better off just chilling. If you are a fit on the ball player, you better off just chilling, mirroring the ball, and then going to find it. But with him burying and stuff like that, Fletcher almost out to the gate. He's almost out the gate. Few plays, and we get into the red zone. And Miami just did some interesting stuff. Offensively, we get a double right here with these two guys because, like, he the dog, he the slot choice. You got to get him. He's the one that's gonna beat the one-on-one coverage. But, like, formation into the boundary, like, they are a lot smarter than me, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I would think. But there's no space right there. Like, what do you expect? So maybe if you go formation into the boundary, you hoping that you get a one-on-one with this guy right here. But it's like, I don't see the benefit of running a slot choice into the boundary in college, where the hashes are way wider. I just don't. They shot themselves in the foot, and they ended up having to kick a field goal. Or I think they already kicked a field goal. I'm sorry. No. They ended up kicking a field goal because this was after the pick. I'm sorry. And then we get this right here, another trickery. Like, this is another one I wish they would have kept in their back pocket, because these plays. Okay, when we saw I don't think I actually showed it, but there was a Wildcat earlier. I want to say Beck was like way out here. So now he in the core. Quarterback in the core. Everybody is like, why is he in the core? Look, they point, they see it. Everybody knows he's in the core. So why is he in the core? This was a great job by A&M defense, because if you run a jet sweep this way in the boundary, there's just nothing there. And they know that. And he still ends up getting behind him. So maybe if this was out in the field, maybe Beck let that thing fly. Who knows? But overall, this was great discipline by A&M right here, because after the play, you want to take a shot. They always say, after a interception or a turnover, watch the shot. They always tell the defense, watch the shot. They want to score right now. Watch the shot. It's kind of hard in the red zone. So they dialed up a reverse pass in the red zone. There's just not enough room for it to work. Now we get to the next drive of the game, and Miami is going to make your corners tackle. They are going to make your corners tackle. And he is going to get to that edge every single time. So we're going to go to the back end. Well, actually, let me just show you this crack split right here. They're going to make them tackle. And them was solid up front, especially like when they didn't run themselves out to play with the blitz. But they have what they want right here, right? You think this should be a tackle for like 1 or 2 or maybe no game, but it's different. Corners, corners sometimes, there's very few corners who want that. I ain't calling nobody soft or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, it's different. It's different. it's a lot different. We got our favorite formation, right? 2-back pro. So what's coming? I done showed you this play twice. 2-back pro. It is 3rd and 5. What's coming? I give you 5 seconds. All right, you should know. You should know what's coming. Blitz is coming. They end up hitting it right there. They end up getting it right there. So we get to the next drive. Get to the next drive. There is 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and this is where things start to get a little ugly. This is a tough play on... I'm going to say this is a tough play on the corner. It is a tough play on the corner. It's a tougher play on Ratcliffe because you really... So we call this an insert block by Daniels right here. I think that's Daniels. Call this an insert block, right? That means he's inserting in the line. So if he is blocking the safety, you want to be on this side of him. I'm going to say this. I'm going to just say that line is the block, right? You want to be on this side of him because your corner is going to be on this side, and you can funnel it to tackle him into it. So we get another cross dog, right? And maybe it's not a cross dog because the way that them boys was like playing this was weird, like super freaking weird. I feel like, okay, Sanford takes the first one. I feel like York is supposed to like come across, but maybe, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know, because he's crossing the face. He's cutting it off. So Sanford is cutting this off. There's nowhere for him to go right there. That's what the whole point of a cross dog is. He is cutting that off. He's trying to be the edge of the defense. So you expect York to see that and come back inside to make this play, but he doesn't. He goes and blocks himself. And then Ratcliffe, you really want him to be inside this block right here to funnel it to number 4, and they're going to make your corners tackle. He doesn't. He stays outside. Fletcher gets through. Brooks got to make a tackle. I don't know how many tackle Brooks had, but if you have more than 10, that is a terrible day to be a free safety. I'm gonna tell you that. If your free safety is one of the leading tacklers on the team, you had a bad day. Oh, I actually forgot to show this dope play here by Brooks right here. This was fire. We got Brooks right here. We got Tony coming in. He's gonna come in, catch the pass over the middle, and they get the ball out. One of the first big plays of the game for A&M specifically. I know they had the fumble, the strip fumble, whatever, but I was like, oh, it might get a little ugly. It might get a little ugly. So they end up actually winning on this third down. I think this was third down. Oh, first down. I'm sorry. They actually end up winning on this first down, and he just gets stripped. And I was like, oh, here we go. But of course, like they didn't capitalize the way that they were really truly supposed to. So we get down to 4 minutes, and this is where he came alive right here. This is where he came alive. So we get another cross dog. We get another one, bro. This has to be a cross dog blitz. It can't. If it ain't, like I don't know ball, bro, but if he's crossing this face right here, the only other logical thing for this linebacker to do is to come across, because he's reading it. It's a ball and chain. So what ball and chain means, the ball goes first. He's on a little chain. He's on a little chain, and the chain follows behind him and reads out. But we don't get that. They don't do it, and they didn't do it the whole game, and that's why this kept hitting, and they kept calling it. And I don't know, bro. He's crossing face. There's nothing over here. The only logical thing to do is for him to come back inside. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm not in the film room, but I don't think I'm wrong on that. I think York busted on this 3 times, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe he didn't bust 3 times. I don't know, but I gotta go back to that, bro. I think York's supposed to come across. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think he's supposed to come across, bro. We get a couple plays later, and this was fire. Your best receiver blocking. This is what a winning mentality looks like. Physical receiver. This reminds me like Julian Edelman, freaking all the Patriots receivers. Boys blocking, man. Look at him. Boom. Get out of the way. Force that. That boy's 17. Maybe he turned 18, but that boy's, I'm going to say he's 17. We get another one. We get a blitz. Or maybe it's not a blitz. I thought it was because Ratcliffe was coming, but we get a force. We're forcing this right here, and that means he's cracking this safety, and he's responsible for Tony, so that means it's crack replaced. That means it's a double crack replace, a double whammy, because he's getting cracked, which means that corner is going to need to show up Gotta show up, bro. Let's go back to the wide view on that. Who's that? That Ricks? Tough position to be in, man. You got a double whammy, double crack. Gotta go, bro. Gotta go. You know it's run. You know it's run. And we do not bash players on this, but it's 2:47. You know it's run. It's 2nd and 8. You gotta go. Right now, bro. You know it's run, bro. Go. I should see you start coming upfield. At least right there, bro. And I'm not bashing them, but we gotta go. Now we get the first down. Now the clock ticking. You make the tackle, but... And look, 25, Brooks on another tackle. If he led the team in tackles, terrible day for that guy in the office. Good day because he made the tackles, but terrible day for the defense. Now they're tuned in on Fletcher. Like Fletcher getting the ball, so we get the missile across. Boom. We get the missile across. And one of the best players on the field going in there technically pretty much calling game. But why? Like, why did this happen, right? Why did this happen? Because this guy right here, all game, they have been cracking right here. Cracking. Crazy. Crack them again, right? To spring it open. Boom. Crack it again to spring it open. And then we do not bash players, bro. It's playoffs, though. It's the playoffs, bro. We got to go. So this had me thinking, I was like, maybe they wanted to let them score. Because that's the situation in football sometimes. You know, you let them score so you can have maximum time to work on offense. But that usually happens when you don't have any timeouts, but you got to sell out. 2-7 makes me think that wasn't the case if I run it back a little bit. But them boys iced the game. That was dope. Now we get to A&M's offense. And one thing that I just really, didn't understand, let this dude go, bro. He dangerous. Let him go. Let him go. If y'all want to win the game, you got to let him go. He didn't let him go against Texas. And, Texas defense was on fire, too. But you lose if you don't let that guy go. So we started off right there with the RPO to Kramer. Craver. And they move the ball. They get some plays on that. Then we get to another first down there in the 12 personnel. And everybody is really into these freaking formation into the boundaries in college. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but whatever. Why does this keep freezing? Anyway, so we get something here that we call dice. We call this dice. It looks like dice. So it's basically a bunch of curl flap combos, right? So it's 5 out, make it an easy read for him. One thing that I noticed early on about Miami was they're matching. A&M really should have took advantage of the way they matched covers underneath because they did not do a good job early on. And the timing is off here. And it's a foul ball, but you're going to see this throughout the game. Miami was just kind of ball watching. Their linebackers, their linebackers dropping was crazy. Them boys was not reading what they were supposed to read. But they balled, though. They balled. I got to say that. They balled. So nothing happened that drive. They get to the third down on this drive that nothing happened on. And the first thing that we see is, I don't even know how to say it, Bisante? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Grass Monster ate him up. And you know why that happened? Because the eyes get real big when that quarterback comes through the middle of the line like that. The eyes get huge and it's almost like a deer in the headlights. So you kind of freeze up. Your mind is let's go. But your body hold on. You get tripped by the turf monster. One of my coaches used to say, guys who, and I'm not saying this dude was scared to hit, but guys who were scared to make the tackle, they'll trip right before they get there so they don't look bad on film. This was a dope play right here. I know O'Connor's going to get the credit for technically making this play, even though he didn't finish the tackle. But this play was made by Scott right here. And that boy was living reckless on the edge. Look at him take two to free up O'Connor. Boom. That was fire. That was fire. Scott, that boy Scott was out there all day, bro. Scott was out there all day. Good job by Bain retracing and coming to get the tackle, but Scott was on that edge living reckless. Reckless. Look at him. He was out there. That was freaking dope. All right, this rush from Miami right here is crazy. And I didn't even talk about it on the first one. Like, their rush lanes, they lucky that they really didn't get toe up. I don't know what Reed was looking at sometimes, but they lucky they didn't get toe up. Not Reed, I'm sorry, Klein. Because I think Colin Klein is their OC. But this dude should have been running all day, bro. I'm gonna run this back a little bit. There's nothing there. We got a little double dig concept. We call that Dallas. Some people call it double dig, whatever you want. But there's nothing there. I just have this on here to show, like, their rush lanes were crazy. And they were like this the whole day, but they was affecting the quarterback. I think the boys had 5 sacks. Did they have 5 sacks? Like, bro. This was, like, look at this. He's one of the most dangerous people on the field, and he got 7 yards of free grass to work with. I didn't understand that, but it worked. So that's why they get paid. So we get to the next 1st and 10 right here. And this is what I don't like about college football. You're going to see this. This is an RPO. He's going to end up throwing it to, I think that's Graver out there. He's going to end up throwing it to him out there. And, bro, I just want y'all. This dude catches this ball 6-7 yards downfield. These dudes are 4 yards downfield, bro. Ball's still in the air. I don't know if you can see it right here. Ball is still in the air. I used to hate that so much in college because it messes up your read, man. That's so trash. So trash. I hate it, bro. I hate it. And that was Bethel wrong. Anyway, I'm telling you, this boy was out there living dangerous on the edge. So we got 4 strong right here. Huge identifier for like some type of screens, RPO, whatever it may be. But look how he beats his block, makes the tackle on the edge. Boys out there living reckless. Dip the block. Get off me. Go make that. TFL. Yeah, and he turned up. That was fire, bro. That was fire. That boy was out there doing this thing for sure. They don't end up getting anything out of it. So we get to the next drive. This is a tough play right here. And I just really wanted them to do a lot more of this, bro. And they ran this play like 2 or 3 times, but you gotta get the ball in the hands of your best player. So you gotta read right here. Your 2 best dynamic players on offense, and you get positive yards out of it. So keep going back to the well. I know you don't want to get him smacked because Miami was out there smacking, but you gotta go, bro. It's the playoffs. Gotta get a spark somewhere. So we get a jet read option right here. Makes the right read, pulls it. He's reading Bain right here. And if Bain goes up the field, he's going to keep it. If Bain chills a little bit or goes to him, he's going to give it. And he ends up keeping it right here. Boom. They end up getting good yardage off of it. So we get to 1st and 10 later down the drive. And this is what I was talking about. I feel like Miami was just lazy in their underneath covers, bro, because these dudes aren't doing nothing. Like, he's taking the cheese, and what we call taking the cheese, you never really want to, and they don't get coached like this. I know they don't get coached like this. You never want to take yards within 4 to 5 yards. You never want to take routes within 4 to 5 yards of the quarterback. So end up taking that because they're putting you in a high low. They're doing that on purpose. So they treat you like a little rat. Like, here, little rat, take this cheese. Got you over the top. Like, you never want to do that. But for is this Toure? I think for him right here, it's just He's just ball watching. Just a little ball watching over there. And maybe he's not technically responsible for that. But you're reading a quarterback ball watching. But this is what a level rush looks like. So you make him stay in the pocket. There's nowhere for him to really escape. He would have to escape this way to his non-throwing arm, which is cool. But it ends up being a good level rush, even though they don't really get no pressure. But he stays patient in the pocket and delivers a strike to his tight end. And I'm not even finna try to say that boy name. A7. Good job. This is probably my least favorite type of play, bro. I just, they go formation into the boundary and they throw a screen. You're reading the numbers. If it's two people over there, you got numbers. This is my least favorite type of play, bro. College loves this, though. College football loves this. And maybe they know something that I don't know, but maybe it's because you get the ball to your receivers faster. If you know why they love doing this so much, I don't know everything. So if you know why they love doing this so much, if you're a coach at the collegiate level on offense and know why they love doing this so much, I hate this type of play. And everybody runs it. Very few people have success with it, to my type of knowledge. Maybe they treat it like a run play because it essentially is. I don't know. But we get to the next one, and the announcers are going crazy about this. And I think this was a buzz. Is this Moss? I don't know if that's Moss or not. But this is one of the plays that I really like that Lamar Jackson runs. Any running quarterback you could think of in the NFL runs this type of play. But I'm gonna show you what happens, and then I'm gonna show you what I think what's supposed to happen. Because Marcel look crazy right here. He look like his Pistons ain't firing, right? Then on top of that, you get a double whammy and get a turnover. But why did this happen? I think this is supposed to be a counter OT read, and the running back was supposed to go this way, and he's reading Bane again. But since there's nothing there, he just looked foolish. And they're bringing two off the edge anyway. And there's just nothing there. And that boy, I'm telling you, man, he was living reckless. I'm telling you, that boy was living reckless. And I know the young freshman came in and had 2 books. Books mean picks, if you don't know what that means. Interceptions. Came and had 2 books, but this boy was out there. He was out there, bro. Enforcer on their defense for sure. That boy was out there. Boy was out there. So get the turnover, nothing happens. We know it was an uneventful first half because we watched Miami, and we get back to like terrible rush lanes. So we rush at 5. Every lane should really be accounted for, but we don't get anything. Like, this is where I would have loved to see A&M do like some type of quarterback design run, some draws, some QB leads from within. Like, get him going, bro, because clearly Miami wasn't paying attention in their rush plan. And they got 5 sacks. I want to say they got 5 sacks, but the rush lane wise, they were not in tune to that. And they really should have got killed on that, but they didn't because A&M offense was trash. And if you are Aggie and y'all only look good against lesser opponents. I'm trying to be as objective as I can because I am a Longhorn, baby. I am a Longhorn. But at the same time, y'all offense was trash this day. This was a good play, though. With that being said, with y'all trash offense, this was a very good play from busted coverage, and it was good showing his arm and showing how competent he is to find the good receiver. But this is a even better play by this dude right here, who I just found out is supposed to have elite speed, and it shows right here because this dude is running. So this is a shot play. This is a shot play, right? They bust the coverage. Who's that down there? Is that 2-4 or 2-9? I can't tell. Oh, that's I don't know how to say his name, but during the game I was calling him Frederique. Federiquez, whatever. He's a good player too, but he busted on this. I think I would like to say that he busted on this. Maybe somebody else busted, but from what it looks like everybody else playing cover 3, and he the only one playing cover 2. But maybe it could be a roll coverage. Maybe Scott's supposed to be back there. I don't know. Somebody busted. We don't know who it was. Somebody busted. Ooh, that's interesting. Now I'm on a tangent because I think Miami did play roll coverage a couple times. Maybe. I don't know. Somebody busted though. We don't know who it is. If you know who it was, let me know. Let me know. But great throw. Good catch. Because if he catches it once, he maybe scores. He ended up catching it twice on this. Great throw, good catch. But, bro, like I said, I know the young boy, 13, had 2 books. This was a play of the game. Why was this a play of the game? Because they didn't get anything from this. They got nothing from this, bro. Block field goal. That's what you get. Nothing happens. I'm going to just show these real quick. Let him go. Let him go. And I know this is probably a read. I know it's a read, but not zone reads. Design quarterback runs. Let him go. Let him go. I'm just showing these. I'm not even breaking these down. Not good rush lanes. Actually, I'm going to talk about this. Not good rush lanes again, but they're in the red zone, so everybody's closer, so they can close faster. Ends up throwing it away. 39. They got nothing from that, bro. That was a huge play. This is a different game. It's a different game. The blocked field goal. That's what you get. Good job. We get to the next drive. And this is what I was talking about. The rush lanes were crazy, bro. Like, so they send a corner blitz. I don't know how these dudes weren't getting killed on this. I might not have ran the ball the rest of the game. And also, let me say this too. I feel like I saw a clip saying, but A&M was talking about, Mizzou defense supposed to be this, and that. We had 200 yards rushing. We gonna be all right. Reed was a top rusher with 27 yards. But anyway, look at this. This would have been my run play for the rest of the game. I'm dropping back 5 out every time. What are you finna do? We get to the next drive, and I just feel like this is when A&M is at their best. When these 2 guys are touching the ball, and then one of these 2 guys, whoever Craver is, when those 2 guys touching the ball, that's when they at their best, man. Get them on the edge. Utilize the speed. This was a great play call. You got positive yards from it the first time. They're reading Bane again. This time Bane chills. Give it to your most dynamic player on the edge. Right? Positive yards. Live on the edge. Because they weren't getting anything up the middle. Like, they got a few yards, but they weren't getting anything up the middle unless it was a QB scramble. And this was a good pressure off the edge, so they were slowly moving the ball, right? But you get a free safety blitz up top, and we just get killed. The whole right side, tight end and tackle, just gets killed, and it turns into intentional grounding and kills the whole drive. And then now we get to 3rd and 17, and this is just a completely awful throw by Reed. This was awful. There's no reason he should have threw this ball anywhere. He was just trying to make a play, made the wrong play. And I want to say that was a young boy. That was his first of 2 books. Boy came in and had 2 of them things. But this is just a terrible read. Read, whatever. Terrible throw. Because he checks. He sees. I know he's probably looking at this receiver, but he feels this guy too, gets back to it and just airmails it, bro. They didn't really get anything out of it. We get to a 1st and 10 on the next drive. And which one was this? Oh, this was a great open field tackle. I'm telling you, boy. Like, I know that boy Fitzgerald had 2 picks. Fitzgerald, however you say Fitzgerald. I'm gonna say Fitzgerald. Had 2 picks. Scott was out there. And there's not even too much to break down on Miami's defensive side because there wasn't a whole lot going on from A&M offensively. Like both these offenses were trash in my opinion. I'm just being all honest, bro. This is what a level rush looks like. So we send 5, and typically what they have been doing the whole day is like for some reason just overloading this side. But now we have our technique right here. He's just waiting on him. So if he does rush through that B gap, yeah, he might get past him, but it doesn't look clean. It doesn't look like open grass. And they try to run like a 77 high right here that's really covered up. So what 77 high is you got a high 7 route and you got a low 7 route with an inside dig coming behind it. And they don't really have nothing right there. And they end up getting Marcel. Come on, man. This dude was on something the whole day, bro. He made the game exciting for Miami's defense. Bain and all them boys, they really played well. But Scott made the game exciting for me. This is one of the plays that I'm sure Scott wants back, and it doesn't end up killing him, but so we're gonna get a bubble screen right here. And if you're ever the force guy in this position right here, you got to make this ball cut back inside. If you go underneath, you got to make the tackle. Because you got people coming. Just force it. You got people coming, and it looks so inviting, bro. When they throw that ball out there, and it's all that space, you like, I can take it. It's so much space right there. You like, yes, I can get underneath him, get back outside, force it, go make the play myself. We end up not making it right there. I've been there, but luckily it only goes for a 1st down and out the gate. I think I've been there where, did I get out? It might have got out the gate on mine. I can't remember. 1st and 10, they're driving, and I just don't understand how these dudes were not getting murdered. Like, look at this. This is a touchdown. If you get hit on rock right here, this is a touchdown, bro. If not a touchdown, you at the 5 or inside the 5, but this is nuts. So this is what I hit it on earlier about I felt like Miami's underneath coverage was ball watching. So they're just running the fire zone, 3 under, 3 deep. They're running a corner post. This is another shot play, right? Corner over. This is just another shot play, and 10 ends up getting out the pocket, delivers I'm gonna call it a duck just because he didn't complete the pass. But that's a touchdown. The plays were out there. To be made, and they just didn't make them. And this play is actually on here to show what a correction was from earlier that I did not show for timing purposes. But this was a spacing route that I really liked when A&M actually did stuff like this, because it slowed the game down for him and allowed him to just be able to touch the rock and go. But basically, this is a spacing route, so I'm gonna run it. And the first time what happened is Bethel Roman, and I don't know if it was him, I can't remember if it was him or not, he kept running and then sat down and the timing was off. So usually what you want to do is, if you're running this little spot right here, as soon as you clear this backer, you want to sit down. The first time he ran it, he didn't sit down. For this backer right here, you really want to chase this to the flat. because the quarterback is just reading you on this. So you really want to chase it to the flat a little bit with some depth. But as you're reading his drop right here, if it's a quick step, if it's a 3-step drop, quick game, or if it's longer, that determines on how flat you go. So if it's quick game, you go flat. If it's drop back game, you want to go more 45. But either way, you want to chase this. He can be a little slower right here. A little slower right here because this happened so early, and maybe they don't talk about this. Maybe if he felt this just a little bit, they could give like a switch call. O'Connor could give him a switch call, and that could really be dead. Overall, though, good job by Reed and Bethel to be able to make that connection. This was one of the few times that they ended up getting home with I think this was this Bane? Boom, boom. Just no time for anything to happen. That was one of the first times that they really got home with the 4-man rush. But look how level this rush is, though. I love that. He's not rushing past the quarterback. He might be rushing past the quarterback, but you got your 2 techniques right here. So if Reed does want to escape the pocket through the B gap, it's going to be a tough day for him, which is why it gets caught right here. Here, they try to get cute, run a little tight end middle screen, and this doesn't work. I mean, even if he catches this clean, he getting smacked. This wasn't my favorite play call. I guess I kind of get why they did it. Like, if it was zone, it would have worked. But with this being man, everybody's accounted for. It just didn't have a chance from the jump. I just really feel like the coordinators really outsmarted themselves. Like, maybe they looked at what they did the prior weeks, and was like, all right, let's do a bunch of tendency breakers or whatever that may be. But them boys just really, really, really outsmarted themselves, because I feel like both sides called a trash game. This, though, is where you want to see the growth from 10, because he gets impatient, right? He gets impatient because it's the same play he made in the first half. If he just chills and maybe he feels it, and it's different. It's different. I only did it at the high school level. So, but just get it to your guy, bro. Take what they give you. Take what they give you. He gets impatient, tries to make a play, ends up getting a sack, and now you are behind the six. Now you behind the sticks. Now you behind the sticks. So we get to a 2nd and 11, I think. And like, look, we get our QB design run. This was, I want to say, their third one. And I know this is a read, but like, now you get it back to 3rd and manageable. Like, they should have been doing this all game, bro. They should have been doing that all game. That boy would have been in an ice bath for about 45 minutes if I was his offensive coordinator. We're going to skip ahead a few plays. I thought this was a pick by Scott right here. I thought this was a pick. So they run basically curl flat combo. He read it, but like, I don't know why he didn't go front side on this. He decided that he wanted to go backside. Is that Concepcion backside? Maybe that's why he wanted to go to his best target, if that is him. But I would have thought he went front side on this, because, like I said, even though Scott was supposed to pick this, their matching is crazy, bro. And this is more of an in route instead of a curl route up top right here. But like, bro, and I know he's breaking on it, but he's not. If he ends up throwing this, he's not getting there. He's not getting there, because they didn't match. They don't match well. We get later in the drive, they started making some plays, and this was tough. This is locking levels versus man coverage, which means everybody's on a different level right here. And then we got Concepcion, the best player on the field, pretty much, running the under route with him in coverage, and he has to run through 4 bodies to get there. Good luck. Good luck. Get out of bounds. And, you know, we just get a little too antsy right here. So this is called a couple of things. This is called like a Japan route. It's really like a cover 3 beater if you run red 3. Got to sit down right here with an over route over the middles, hoping that your corner drives on this and the free safety gets out leveraged by that over route. But we just get just chill, bro. Chill. Because you might let that ball go earlier. And this is actually good odds right here because he's falling off into that. So if he ends up leaving that ball inside, it might be picked. But just chill a little bit, right? And then this right here was it him? I think it was him. This is the definition of putting your body on the line. Because this is a touchdown. And I'm speeding through this. This is a touchdown. Bow! Oh my God. And I hope he's all right. I know he ran off the field. He was wobbling off the field. He had Bambi legs. But, bro, Torre, I think that's how you say his name. Hell of a play. Because that is a touchdown. Yum. And he went clean hit, bro. They just happened to go ahead, helmet on that. And this was the second most least accurate, because the first pick that he threw was the most least accurate of the day. If he leaves this in front of them, they might have a chance to tie this up. But Fitzgerald gets his second pick of the day to ice it. And that's why they said the 12th man ain't enough. But with that being said, A&M had a chance to win the game. You at home, bro. You lose like this at home, like that's embarrassing. But hats off to Miami. You know, Miami proved like why they were supposed to be in the playoff, because they came in and they beat a team. But what does that say? What does that really say about A&M to go out like this and to put on this type of display and get their offense really got goose egg. They fell into that field goal. Like their offense really got goose egg. But hats off to A&M. That was the first college edition breakdown for a student of the game. Like, subscribe, comment, follow. Let me know what you think. I know some fans are going to be mad in the comments. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for you. Let's get into it. I like talking ball. Thank you for watching Student of the Game. My name is AP. Thank you for vibing with P. I will see you next time. Peace.